and edit the privacy so that people can share.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. Here we go.
We, as always, are going to make this session a Q&A. When it's just James and I, we're going to open it up for Q&A. So,
and we've got some pretty good cues for you all to
watch us here.
Oh, there you go.
Huh? Did you like that?
Yeah,
we got some good cues for y'all to A. So definitely follow along and join us on this.
Ask away.
Yeah, ask away. Okay, here we go. So we've gone in public. Hi guys, we are here with Theo Noe and Thea Irene watching. Hey, Theo Noe and Thea Irene, how's it going? Thanks for watching. All right, so
we'll get some Q&As from you guys.
And then let's see, how do we invite people? Oh, here we go. We invite people to watch. We could just go down the line. We got Zabi, Jonathan, Jose, Ryan.
I don't want to do it by person. I thought you can share it to a group.
San Diego. Whoops. Let me see. San Diego. What was the name of it?
There's like real estate friends, and I don't know any of those real estate things.
No, it doesn't look like I can share it to that group.
All right. Well, we tried.
At San Diego.
It only says invite to watch. It doesn't say share yet, huh?
It does. I mean, it gives, you know what? Share.
To a group.
Share in a group.
There you go. Boom.
Okay. Share in a group. Group name. San Diego Real Estate.
Boom. See? Even us, we're learning to do this so it gets a little bit better.
San Diego Real Estate Friends. Oh, I can only share it with one group.
That's okay. That's fine.
All right. San Diego Real Estate Friends. Here we go.
And we'll see what happens on this beautiful Sunday evening
successfully shared,
as we get ready for work.
And let's try this. Whoopsie.
And for realtors who just got off of work.
Share also in this other group. Wow, this is awesome, guys.
See? Makes a huge difference.
Is so cool. All right. We're going to start with just these two groups, San Diego Real Estate and San Diego Real Estate Friends.
Welcome,
everybody. Thanks for joining.
Let's get the show on the road.
Here we go. We are going to go live for audio in 3.
Say it with us, guys.
1.
Welcome to another episode of Business Bros.
Yeah.
Wow. Now we're recording for the podcast, so we can say
we are.
Welcome to the show, everybody, on this beautiful Sunday night.
It is a beautiful Sunday night. Man, I love San Diego when it's not friggin' raining. Right?
when you can go out with a hoodie, right?
When you go out with... dude, I have been riding my motorcycle with long sleeves. With a long sleeve shirt.
Now,
just a long sleeve shirt.
This is going to air on Monday. I don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. So hopefully...
it's still going to be sunny. I checked it. It's not supposed to rain until next Sunday, and I'm still hoping that's a lie.
Oh, well, and that's less driving for me.
Right?
I don't have to pick you up and drop you off. That's what happens when you ride a bike, so...
Yeah, that's what happens when a motorcycle's your only vehicle, so...
Hopefully, real estate agents out there, you had a productive weekend. I saw a lot of open houses, a lot of really cool stuff.
I did too.
Anthony Manzon, T. Manzon, had some pretty big events. He started giving me some ideas, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude. Anthony's episode was so good. If anybody has not already listened to that aired on Friday. Go back and take a listen. The man was spitting so much gold. He was just giving so much good advice, not just in real estate, but in business building, in general, for anybody who is building a organization of salespeople. Like, wow, the things that he was bringing to the table was just super impressive and inspiring.
I just want to highlight some of the things he said. First of all, is that he's old school, meaning he picks up the phone, he door knocks, he goes and does the work on the open houses. That's how he built his business, on actually taking physical action and doing some work. And it's because, we all want to make sure we stay top of mind. So we all want to be out there on Facebook. We all want to be on Instagram. We want to have our podcast listened to, all these different things. But those are supplemental things to our business. These are extra things that help enhance our business. They're not the things that get our business off the ground and keep us going on day to day. And that was cool that Anthony actually pointed that out. You know what I mean? Like he's saying, this is what I did. That's all you need to do. Right? It's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. It's pretty basic. It's pretty easy. Get out there and do it. Hasn't changed.
There's a lot of things that have changed. One of the things that he said was that the social media marketing, that's your brand. That's your long term.
That's the long game.
But if you want the now game, the now money, That's the making phone calls. That's the lead generation. He gave us the same 5 steps that we talk about, which is lead generation, follow-up, negotiation, presenting,
pre-qualifying, negotiating, presenting, closing. Right,
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you got it, man. All the same things, and just it was such a great episode.
And then the cool thing was seeing him in action this weekend. So this weekend he said he was going to try and do some more Facebook Live stuff, some more social media stuff, because it's not part of what he's been doing. And he went live and he had the moving truck in the background.
Wait, he did that this weekend?
Cornholes. Yeah,
nice.
the Team Man's on cornholes. He had the Girl Scout cookies. Like, what else doesn't say "Come to my house" than Girl Scout cookies in front of his open house? Just saying, right? I mean, helping out the community. I mean, think about that, real estate agents. If you're leveraging Girl Scout cookies are like drugs. Like, once you have the Thin Mints or the Samoas or the Tagalogs, right? You just got to have more. So you're always looking for the hookup on those Girl Scout cookies. It's Girl Scout cookie season right now. And Team Manzon not only had an open house, but had the Girl Scouts in front of the open house selling. So you get more traffic coming in. It's just a bunch of different ways.
Genius.
Exactly. It's a bunch of different ways to get more traffic to come to your home. I mean, he had my mind going, I'm going to throw this out there for anybody who wants to do this or who wants to invite us to do this. Now, we can take our podcast live, by the way. We can take our podcast to different places. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we did open house podcasts? So we'd show up and do an open house with you, real estate agent or lender or whoever you are out there. We do the podcast at your open house, and then we bring an extra microphone so when people do come over, they can ask questions that you can get answered, and we have nice gems, not only from you, the real estate agent, but from potential clients. I just thought that would be kind of cool to do. That sprung from watching Team Manzon do what they do.
Oh boy, here we go. You're going to have us running around town again with these podcast equipment. We
were
doing that for a while.
And here's the thing, real estate agents out there, if you're not going to do it, if you don't invite us to your open house, I am a licensed realtor, just saying, I might do it myself. I might go out and host some open houses, sit down, double in the work, right? I get the open house, I get the lead generation and the podcast content all in the same thing. So either you work with us and we can help each other, or you know what, I might just go out there and do it and handle my business that way. So
SMRT.
Just saying, right? Just saying.
Pretty
Why
smart.
not?
Hey, really quickly, before we continue on here, I do want to give one quick shout out to my boy, Jonathan Jordan, over at OB Barbershop, Ocean Beach. See, he hooked me up this weekend. So,
he looks handsome for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while.
So he Wolverines it out.
Hey, it happens, man. The hair grows for some of us.
For some of us, yeah. Dang, there's nothing under there. Nothing under there.
Love you, bro. Love you. But, yeah, man, quick shout out to Jonathan Jordan. Those of you who are looking for someone to cut your hair, believe me, this man is worth every penny. He's awesome.
Out there in OB, right?
Out there in OB.
Hey, we are the business bros, so we love to give shout outs to different businesses. So you want to be part of the program, you want to get your business shouted out, you want to be on the show, make sure you contact us. You can hit me up, Hernan at csfirst.com or James at csfirst.com, or find us on social media at Business Bros Pod.
Hey, Phil. Thanks for joining, buddy.
All right. So remember, we are on Facebook Live. So if you guys have any cues for us to we'd love to answer some of your questions.
But actually, we're going to switch it around. We have some cues for you all to first, or at least one. So this was something that was coming up for me in a couple of different areas of my life. I am part of I'm going to call it a mastermind group called Junto. And at this mastermind meeting, one of the things that came up was, how much sleep do you get per night?
Ooh,
right? And so I am surrounded by these very high level professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, lawyers, people who are very, very driven and just, do a lot, just like we are, right? And just like our hashtag passionate professionals are. And so this topic of conversation came up, and I was surprised to find that a lot of the people that I was hanging out with are sleeping between 7 to 9 hours a night.
7 to 9 hours a night.
7 to 9 hours a night. And now here I am at maybe 6.5, usually closer to 6, and trying to bring it down to like 5.5 or 5.
Dude, you need to function, man. Your body needs to sleep.
Absolutely, 100%. So here's the funny thing, right, is after the discussion, I was inspired. I was like, okay, so for the rest of the week, I slept 7 hours. And guess what?
Makes a difference.
I felt freaking fantastic, dude. I felt so good the rest of that week, just sleeping the way that my body needed. And so here's the second situation that happened. Yesterday, Saturday, I took the day completely off. For the first time, and I don't know how long, I did not do one single thing for work. That's a lie. Deidre texted me in the morning, and she had some questions about whatever.
And it was support when the support comes in, right?
It was a quick answer, didn't take any time, whatever.
But for the most part,
the most part, I unplugged. I spent the day at Balboa Park, riding around on the Harley to 3 or 4 different places around town. Got my hair cut, watched some movies. Like, I was chilling, just relaxing, right? And as I'm walking Katie around the block, kind of in the middle of the day, I run into one of my neighbors who is part of one of the higher ups in this new startup. And she's telling me that she's a software developer, and she's got her whole team in her apartment, and they're just cranking out a bunch of work. And that, she's telling me about her 15, 16-hour work days that she's facing right now. And I'm over here like, damn, am I working hard enough?
That's funny, man. And I'm gonna give a shout out myself. So this one goes to Annie O'Donnell, by the way. She sent us the books on the Miracle Morning. Right. Uh-huh. And it's funny because she sent us the book on Miracle Morning. And it wasn't even a few days after we interviewed Aphrodite, who said we should read Miracle Morning also. And so I have it. I've been reading it. And some of those same questions have been going on in my mind too. I'm like, okay, do I get enough sleep? Do I need to get up earlier? Because normally I get up at 5 o'clock anyways. It's just part of my routine, my schedule. I don't have that morning planned out the way the book has it laid out, but it's just part of my routine because I want to get to school by 6:15. My class starts at 7, so that's kind of my thing. But I do get concerned with the amount of sleep I get because I have to function through the whole day. So, going back to your original point, your body needs sleep, right? It just absolutely does. Without it, you're going to go stir crazy. You can only go so long without getting the nourishment that your body needs, kind of like eating, my opinion, right? Mm-hmm. However, that being said, something that I read in Miracle Morning so far is having that Christmas morning energy, right? So when you wake up in the morning, having that energy, like that excitement, like you're going to go to Disneyland or like you're going to go, open presents at Christmas when you were a kid, you have that energy in the morning, right? Mm-hmm, that energy, right? Well,
always energy. Love that guy.
And a lot of that comes from, knowing what's going to happen the next day, setting yourself up to a routine where you have excitement when you get up in the morning. Now, I think having that, your hashtag passionate professionals, right? Having that routine set up so that you have that energy going forward gives you the energy you need, the excitement you need, so that you can push through a long 12-hour day or so forth, right? And the other thing is, once you realize what it is you like to do and you start doing that, I think it becomes less work and more enjoyable. And that's one of those things that when you talk to people who are like, hey, I work 12 hours today, they'll tell you they work 12 hours, but they love what they do, or they really enjoy getting to the end game, getting to their goal, or getting close to or attaining a goal that they set out for themselves. And I think that's one of those things that drives you. But you can't work 15, 18-hour days consecutively too long. You eventually going to need to
burn
get some sleep
out.
Exactly. You're
right?
going to burn out.
So no
matter how much you love it.
Yeah. No. I 100% agree with that. This was something else that came up in that meeting that I was in, which was what they labeled as the burnout rate. Yeah. So somebody was talking about how you have this ability to go 100%, 110%, 150%, whatever it is that you can push yourself to go 15, 16 hours a day, whatever it is. And you can do that for a certain number of days or possibly weeks, depending on your stamina. And then once you get to that point, like, you absolutely need a day off,
you have
2 days off, 3 days off, whatever it might be. So that's something that I've never tracked for myself before. I don't know what my burnout rate is. Do you?
No. Well, okay. So
do you have an idea? Maybe.
Okay. Well, think about it like this: you ever get on the treadmill and you set the pace? Maybe you're like 6 miles per hour or 7 miles per hour or whatever. How long can you maintain that pace? like eventually you need to stop or you need to slow down. And I equate that with what you're talking about here, because that, like, maybe I can run probably 9-10 miles per hour, but how long can I do that? Right? You get huffing and puffing, your muscles get exhausted, and you got to stop. And the same thing happens with your brain. It just has a different pace. I think if you really like what you do and you structure yourself, you can push for 15 and 18 hours. But dude, the burnout rate is you'll be done. And I know there's times when I was waking up at 4 a.m. to go run. By 7-8 o'clock at night, I was done, and I might have been able to push for longer, but it's a different level of focus, I guess. The sharpness goes away.
Well, yeah,
right?
it's just like you're talking about, where if we're gonna push ourselves to only get 5 hours of sleep a night, that may not be what your body actually needs. Your body might need 7 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep, 9 hours of sleep, whatever it is. And if you're not giving that to your body, you're not going to be as effective in your work, no matter how much you love it, no matter how much you try to be energetic. And that was one of the things that I came away with from that meeting earlier this week is instead of trying to get less sleep to get more done, get more sleep to get more done.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like we've talked about it before, where having a schedule, how important it is to have a schedule, right? So if you lack sleep, you lack focus.
Right.
And if you lack focus, your attention to what it is that you're doing wanders, because you're yawning all the time, or you're trying to keep yourself awake, or you're going to the coffee pot, whatever it is. So that one task that you're trying to get done doesn't get the attention that it needs, and it takes longer to achieve that task. Or worse, you make a mistake and you have to redo that task, right? In which case your time is
double
wasted.
work. Yeah,
it's double the work. So if you get the sleep that you need, if your body has energy and then you use that energy to focus your attention, you don't need as much time because you're not duplicating the task.
So for those of you watching out there, Mom, Dad, Theo and Thea, and Phil, you're still on the call with us here. How many hours of sleep do you guys get per night? And what do you really need? Do you feel like you get all of the energy that you need from those amount of hours, or do you feel like you're really pushing yourself the whole time? And also, has anybody ever heard of those burnout rates? So let me explain the burnout rate a little bit more. The burnout rate, that the way that it was described to me, you were talking about, you can only go so many days of going 15, 16 hours before you burn out. How many days is that? That's the question.
That's tough.
That's the question. How many days can you work those 15, 16 hours? Now, let me tell you this.
I'll give myself a good 4 days.
4 days.
I think a good 4 days. And by the fourth day, I think I'm going to be done. Because I've done that with, I told you, when I was waking up at 4 a.m. to go run. I'll give myself a good 4 days. And there's one of those days, it's usually like middle of the week, Wednesday. I'll come home because, I'm done by 11:30. And I know my next thing that I'm going to do is at 3 o'clock or whatever. I'll crash. My body, like, I come home and literally the bed looks so enticing, right? And I just gotta lay down for like a few minutes. And I'm not a napper, but if I have to nap in the middle of the day like that, I know I've hit my fatigue.
Sure,
I've hit my burnout rate. I need to recharge my battery.
You need to recharge. Okay, so Phil says 7 to 9. If he can't sleep, he'll try to do some reading, but he doesn't jump into work whatsoever. Good to know. So see, here we go, 7 to 9, just like we're talking about. So let's say, let's not assume that we're doing 15, 16 hours days. Let's say we're doing 12, maybe 14-hour days, right? We're getting the sleep that we actually need. But during those 12 and 14-hour days, we're going hard at it, just 110%, pushing, doing as much as we can throughout the day. Like, for example, we're staying late at the office till 6, 7, 8 o'clock, whatever it is, just to push out and crank stuff out and get stuff done. How many days can we do that before we need, just some time off?
See, I think this is also a dependent on your situation. Like, I know I couldn't do that, not because I couldn't physically or mentally push through, because I got other people who want my attention. Right? I got to come home to the kids who want my attention, or I got to take them to practice, or even, the wife wants some quality time too, right? She wants to make sure we have dinner together. So, those types of things are what stop me from doing that, right? But by the same token, like, I don't know, like for entrepreneurs, I know if you're truly in business for yourself, your brain doesn't shut off. It just keeps going. You're always thinking about that fire that you need to put out, and you're trying to prioritize which things you're going to get done because they have the most urgency to them. So even if you're at home and I'm spending time with the kids, I'm still, like today, Liam had a baseball practice, and instead I'm listening to an audiobook, and I didn't bring the right shoes because I didn't think far enough ahead. Otherwise, I probably would have went running during that time to try to maximize whatever time that I have during whatever it is the situation that's going on. I want to make sure I am as productive as possible. Mm-hmm. But this morning, for example, I woke up early, but I didn't get up. Instead, I just spent time in bed with the wife, just hanging out, like nice. Talking and whatever it is.
Aww,
but pillow talk. But in the morning, before the kids even wake up, right? Because sure. I usually get up and make breakfast.
Wait! You mean they're not coming into your room and waking you up at 6 in the morning anymore?
They're finally old enough, right? But normally I wouldn't do that. Normally I would pop up, and I'm up early and I get stuff done because the kids are asleep, the wife is asleep. I can be productive.
It's weekends, right? Weekends you can actually sleep in a little bit. You don't feel like you have to.
But sleep in for me would be like 7, 8 o'clock.
Right.
And then I'm good. I can pop up and I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah.
But I know.
Do you feel guilty?
Yes, I felt totally guilty today.
Dude.
I felt totally guilty today. I felt really bad because in my mind I was up at 8, and when I got up, when I opened my eyes, because I didn't get up. When I opened my eyes, I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna achieve that day. What tasks I need to get done. Mm-hmm. What I want to focus my attention on.
What's on my calendar?
What's on my schedule? What do I need? What has urgency that for me, Sunday is one of those open days where I can get caught up on whatever I need to get caught up on, so I can be freer during the week to take. So
we talk a lot about these meditations and these affirmations, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, every morning I wake up at 5:45, right? 5:30 is when like my first alarm starts going off, and nowadays I need a couple to wake me up, like
because it's cold.
It's cold, but you know what? I like the let me just kind of bring you slowly. Like my first alarm goes off at 5:25, and then it's like every few minutes to
that
just
kind of crazy.
No, I like it. I like it. It is what it is. Anyway, so 5:45, and. My first thing is to meditate for 15 minutes, right? That's my first thing every morning. Meditation, just sitting there.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. I am afraid to do that because to me, if I close my eyes and meditate, I'm going to wake up an hour later. I don't want to do that. I'm afraid to do that. I pop up. Like for me, when my alarm goes off at 5 a.m., I pop up. I literally sit up because I know that's the action I need to take to get myself going.
Let me go back then. I get up. I brush my teeth, I put on my walking shoes and my walking clothes, right? And a hoodie and a beanie, whatever, like that, and then I meditate.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So I'm up, I'm like...
That's a critical detail right there. I mean...
You're right,
because if you just sit up, that's like...
I was doing the same thing, because I was just, okay, I'll sit up, and then...
Yeah, that's what would happen. Yep. I don't want to do.
I get up, I brush my teeth, and I get ready so that as soon as my meditation is done, Katie and I go for our walk. So, Phil says he's been trying to add more fun into life. You know what, Phil? I like that, and we're going to get to that. Thank you very much for your comment. So, 15 minutes. Right, that's my and it's right there in my room, and then I get going for the day. Katie and I, we have our morning walk, whatever, blah blah blah. But on the weekends, I sleep in a little bit, right? So somewhere between 7 and 8, I'll get up, get out of bed, and on the weekends, I have this spot that I like to walk to with Katie, which is in Balboa Park, right in the middle plaza where the Museum of Art is. There's a fountain.
The waterfall. Yeah,
there's a fountain right there. And that fountain, that's my fountain.
That's your meditation spot.
And so...
That's where you find your chi.
That's where I sit. And on the weekends, I love that right there. So that's part of my morning. That's part of my routine on the weekends. And it's a much slower pace, right? So like my days on the weekend don't really get started until
9:30,
11.
10. Oh, 11, yeah.
10 to 11,
Yeah.
right? Because I get up and I get out there, and our walk, Katie and I, we walk for hours. We walk for 1 to 2 hours. But in the middle of that walk is that meditation time, and then, we go on about our day.
All right. What happens after meditation then?
That's the thing, is it can be any number of things. It's the weekend, right? And I'm guilting myself because I'm not working the whole time. So today I came over here and I recorded a bunch of training videos for a bunch of stuff that needs to happen in the agency this week. Mm-hmm. So I felt good about that. But earlier today, I went to brunch with my buddy Jonathan, who cut my hair.
Yeah.
But he cut my hair yesterday. But
same here, right? So I stayed in bed for a long time until finally the kids got up, and then I got up and made them breakfast.
So
I didn't actually start until like 11 and 12.
Interrupt you. This is to your point, Phil, about adding more fun to your life. So we guilt ourselves, right? We guilt ourselves into thinking we need to be working all the time. But you just said that your day didn't start until almost 11 because you made breakfast and everything for the kids too, right?
Yeah, but I felt guilty laying in bed. I did, because I knew I had a lot of stuff to do. And finally, when I got to work, it was around 11:30 or so, and I busted out. I mean, I was doing tax return after tax return after tax return, trying to get, just trying to get caught up, because the March 15th deadline for corporate returns is right around the corner, and I didn't want, there's a lot of bookkeeping that has to be caught up and done before I can do those, and then I can finally do my own return, which I just got started on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I've been kind of putting off that I could have gotten done if I got up at 8. You know what I mean? I could have had a lot more done today, and that's my mindset. I don't know if I feel guilty. It's just I get to knock things. I really, really do enjoy crossing things off the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like that. I feel accomplished when I cross things off the list. Vicente? Yeah. What's up, Vicente? Mr. Lango Garcia?
Langarica?
I can never say his last name.
Langarica. I'm going to go with Langarica.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry if I butchered it, because I probably did. But Vicente's from Chase, so he's a cool guy.
He is. I remember he hosted the open house with you over there on K Street.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, when I was limping.
When you were limping.
I was on crutches. I remember that.
Anyway,
doing
all right.
Open houses on crutches.
So getting back to the subject, it's really about this work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
And so
I don't like that balance word, though.
I do.
I do
because okay. So let me make my point, and then I'll give you the opportunity. So when it comes to work-life balance is different for different people, right? Some people can work 12, 14, 15, 16 hours a day and come home and, give a little, to the spouse and go to bed, and that's that, If there is a spouse involved at all. Some people don't have that to worry about. Some people, you come home, you walk your dog, you pet your cat, you feed the cat, and, you go on about your day. So some people really can do that, and there's not a lot of... there's no guilt on either side. They feel good because they're getting their work accomplished, and they, take a Friday night off and they go out and they do something. So I think that the word balance is good, but it varies. Some people need one thing more, need more time for recreation and rest than other people.
Yeah. I feel it's a matter of attention. Like, who wants my attention, who's getting my attention. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I know my kids want my attention, and I know my spouse wants my attention, and a lot of times I'm giving my attention to...
Yeah, but who cares about them?
No, that's not fair. That's not fair to them. No, dude. No, and I like giving them the attention, but at the same time, I want to make sure... I think the balance for me is not my balance. I think it's the balance that I perceive in them. Like, what's good enough? How much of my time is good enough to keep you happy? Because the rest I need to use myself. I don't know. For me, a lot of my mentality is very selfish, to be honest. Like I am very, I would consider myself one of the most selfish people I know, but by the same token, I'm also one of the most giving of my time and help, right? I help a lot of people do a lot of things, and it's not like a monetary return. Like that's why I got along with Andy, because I just help people just because they need the help.
Because it's the right thing.
Because it's the right thing to do, right? So I'm very giving of my time, but it's me who chooses to give that time, and I want to make sure that and I'm selfish with it because. Same thing with my kids. Like I love spending time with my kids, but I can't spend all my time with my kids because then other things won't get done. Same thing with the spouse. So for me, the balance is not of me. I feel like I'm doing everything I need to do because I want to do it when I want to do it. My balance is that enough for you? Is my time that I gave you today enough to get you by till the next time we spend time again?
No, that's really, really good. I mean, and the way I think about it is you have to think of that in all of your relationships. Something that Zabi did, shout out to Zabi, earlier this week, he posted, I think it might have been yesterday. He posted, "Stop. If you're reading this right now, call someone that you care about and tell them that you love them."
See, I like that sort of stuff.
So relationships, the relationships obviously with your wife and your kids, like those are going to be the ones that are going to be the most important. You really need to make sure that you're balancing those along with your work life. But we also have friends. Yeah. We also have business relationships and powerful relationships with, all kinds of people all over the place. And we got to take the time to make sure that those are in the right kind of balance as well. Obviously the majority of your focus is right here at home, but we can't forget about the other people in our lives that we care about either.
Right. And I don't know, for me, like I said, dude, I'm one of the most selfish people, and I have this image of how I see myself, and it really depends on how helpful I've been to others. You know what I mean? And that's where my drive comes in. I think I got that from Mom, to be honest, because mom's all about helping people.
Oh my God.
All about helping people. And because she's all about helping people, like I know it gives her the same feeling inside that it gives me. Right. And so she spends a lot of time, even with us growing up, she would spend a lot of time helping other people. And I think the only mistake that Mom ever did, I think for us in a way was,
Mom, close your ears.
Right. was forcing us to do all the things that she wanted to do. It was a blessing and a curse at the same time. Right. Because we got to see Mom in action, giving and helping. Right. But at the same time, it really pushed us away from some of the things she really wanted to have in us. Right. Like church, for example. Right. I think we were pushed too far into what was going on, and less of it stuck because it was so forceful, because it was so much part of our life. But the core things in church, the way we treat people, the way we help people, our relationship with God, I think all those things foundational for sure.
Foundational,
right?
Yeah.
And those are the I think it's difficult to balance those things, you know what I mean? But
it's the rules and regs, right?
It's the rules and regs, yeah, exactly. So I kind of.
But you know what though, man? For what it's worth, I don't see Mom as really being the rules and regs. You got to do things. You got to be there on Saturday and like.
She was growing up up until about 9 or 10 years old. Not about 10 or 11 years old for me.
Yeah, maybe a little bit older than that. But yeah, whatever. I mean, bottom line is that it's, you got the rules and regs, and then you got like what it really means. And I think, Mom and Dad, they did a good job of showing us what it really means.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to say. I think that part of being of service to others is what's ingrained in us. And that's where I want to spend my time. That's why I like doing the podcast. I want to hear your story. Let me figure out a way, because I know you now, that I can help you. Right. And that's what I really am passionate about. I remember, I've talked to you about, writing my affirmations and figuring out what the heck I'm doing in life. Like, why am I doing it? And I've summed it down to rich and famous. Right?
You want to be rich and famous.
Right. Rich and famous. But rich, I think, is one of those things that's just going to come because the more people I can be of service to at a high quality, it's going to be there. And then the famous, I don't want it to be because, I made a movie or something. You know what I mean? For me, the famous is how many people can I help? at a high level? How many people can I change their life? Or, say something that might inspire them that changed their life, or, hook them up with somebody who alters their path in life. Like, how many of those can I do? If I can do a lot of that, then that's the kind of famous I want. It doesn't necessarily have to be like Brad Pitt famous. It's more like, I don't know, like Tony Robbins famous, like, you know what I mean? Like within an industry, maybe like a Robert Kiyosaki famous. Like, it doesn't have to be, worldwide. It's just influential in my circle. Does that make sense? Or am I just like...
No. You're good. You're good. It totally does make sense. And it's, that's part of the whole purpose behind this discussion, is to make sure that we are doing those things that align with us in both personal and business, right? What was everything? It was physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially.
The five.
You got to keep those 5 things aligned.
Somehow, some way.
All right, man. Well,
we're rounding the bend on time.
This is it, man.
Dude, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, Facebook.
Hope everybody enjoyed it. Really quickly, Mom did answer us about the hours of sleep. We got Theo Noah with 5 to 6 hours. Thea Irene with 6.5 hours. Mom and Dad at 7 hours of sleep a day.
Let's be honest, Dad gets more than 7.
It's just
that's just in a row, right?
But yeah, I mean, back to that point is, how much sleep do you actually need? And how long can you go with getting the minimal sleep and pushing yourself the hardest? For you, 4 days before you just need a rest. For me, that's something that I want to try and figure out.
Push yourself to the limit.
Maybe I'll start actually operating on 7 hours a day, and just push myself the rest of that time. Because I think that one of the things that I have done is only have that 6-ish hours of sleep. And then by the end of the day, like, I'm cooked, right? I'm just burnt.
Well, here's what I think about that. And we'll probably end it with this one. So Facebook or podcast listeners, whether or not you get 7 hours of sleep depends on 2 things. Well, of course, what time you wake up. But what time are you going to bed?
Mm-hmm.
When are you checking out for the day?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're checking out because you're clocking out and then you pop on some Netflix and you stay up a couple hours just to watch the end of the movie, try not starting it. Try waiting and putting it off till you have that block on a weekend schedule or whatever it is. And if you prioritize your 7 hours of sleep and get your body the rest that it needs, then maybe you'll have more productive time. The enjoyable work-life balance, again, for me, I don't know if it's a real thing, but if you do need some of that R&R, if you do need to unplug, set it up for yourself. There's always Saturday. It doesn't even have to be the weekend. You can do that on a Wednesday. You can do that on a Thursday. As long as it's part of your schedule, do it. That's when you need to recharge. Everybody needs to recharge. Some of us use sleep. Some of us use days off. Some of us go on vacations. Just get it on your schedule and get it out there. Get your 7 hours of sleep. Function properly and be productive as all hell when you're productive. Get her done. All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, turn on at csfirst.com for all of your insurance needs. James at csfirst.com, or follow us on our social at Business Bros Pod. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out. Thanks, Facebook. We love you.
We love you. Thank you so much.
Chargers.
Oh, look at that. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow.
Chargers. Follow me on TikTok at Business Bros Pod.
Nice plug.
That was funny, dude. Mila got me on TikTok.